So it is the first Friday show, and we're going to do a little interview in review type of thing. This is when we'll pick one of our favorite interviews from the past, and we'll either tell you what happened after the interview, tell you what happened behind the scenes. This interview is with a guy named Chris Slattery. The interview originally aired on February 24th, 2011. And in this interview, Chris Slattery hangs up on me. And this is the first time that this ever happened with a guest. In that sense, I remember it very clearly, but some interesting stuff happened afterwards too. Take a look at the interview first, then we'll give you the behind the scenes. Chris Slattery founded EMC Frontline Pregnancy Centers in 1985 in Manhattan. It has grown to 12 locations, and Chris joins us now. Hey, Chris, thanks for calling in.
Hey, my pleasure.
So you're in favor of defunding Planned Parenthood. Can you tell me how and why?
Well, it's going to be up to Congress and working out the congressional resolution that will, the continuing resolution that will fund our government. Right now, as you know, we have a multi-trillion-dollar deficit, and the budget that they're discussing has over $1 trillion in deficit. And so they're cutting funds, and one of the things Americans have resoundingly said is we don't want to fund abortion organizations. Now, Planned Parenthood is the largest abortion provider in America, and so the funds that they get through Title X helps erect their buildings, maintain them, subsidize staffing in their buildings, and now frees up money so that they can do what they focus on, the committing of over 300,000 abortions and abortion advocacy. They are the largest abortion advocacy organization in the world.
So, Chris, is this argument on your end, is it, I'm hearing both financial but also a moral thing. Which is it? Is it both? Is it
it's
more
both.
one?
Of course it's both. You know why? If you're against abortion, as the majority of our Congress is, which are people just elected, knowing full well they were against abortion. This is one of the main reasons that Americans elected a pro-life Congress, the most pro-life we've ever had. There's a combination of moral issues and political issues involved in abortion. Because
well, so that I guess that answers my question. When you talk about Planned Parenthood being an abortion provider, 97% of what they do is non-abortions, right? Only 3% of the services they provide are abortions. Did you know that?
Well, that's a claim they make, which isn't true.
Why? How do you know it's not true?
It's complete. Because it's not about just the money that it may not be like, for instance, the percentage of clients that come in, maybe 3%, but overall it's the amount of money they take in from abortion provision, and it's also the number of babies they're killing. They abort more than 25% of America's babies.
Yeah, I'm going to avoid...
the largest abortion clinic network in the country.
I'm going to avoid...
They have the largest share of market of all abortion providers in America, and they spend more money on lobbying for abortion in the cities, states, and federal government than any other organization. This is what they do. I have a lot of experience in working against them.
I know
30
you do.
years in this city.
Are you against the 97% of things that they do? In other words, the STD test, cancer screening, prevention?
No, I'm not against the provision of STD testing, and that can be done, however, at health departments throughout America provide those services. They can easily be absorbed by other organizations, and pro-life organizations like mine are getting into the provision of STD testing, prenatal care, which Planned Parenthood extremely rarely do.
Yeah, let's
Planned
talk
Parenthood
about...
is mandating by the year 2012, every Planned Parenthood affiliate either agrees to, commits in contract to the provision of abortion services in their facilities, or they're excluded from the Planned Parenthood Federation of America. They're out of business.
I want to follow up when you refer to centers like yours. Are you guys licensed medical facilities?
We provide through licensed physicians and hospitals and clinics in tandem, side by side with in each of the boroughs in which we work. We call our New York City counties boroughs. We provide on-site prenatal care, on-site STD testing, on-site ultrasounds, under the supervision of licensed physicians.
But so EMC Frontline Pregnancy Center, that's a name that to me sounds like it should be, that shouldn't there be more full disclosure if you are, I'm hearing you are not a licensed medical facility. Shouldn't you be telling people, listen, even though abortion is illegal and is a legal option here in New York, even though we're a pregnancy center, that's not something we offer here. You need to know that. Shouldn't you be telling people that more up front?
When I offer in my office, and sometimes I'm in a doctor's office, his office, or her office, or in a licensed clinic, or in a hospital clinic, you want me to falsely tell someone if they come in here they're not going to get medical services when they will? You want me to lie to the public? For what purpose? To serve your political agenda? Get it. I don't know where you're coming from.
My question
I'm
is...
working in a facility in the same office in the next room as a physician that we partner with who's going to provide medical services. You want me to lie to people when they come in that they can't get medical services when they come in? What is this interview about?
The question is, you tell me...
trying to sandbag me on this interview?
No, I don't think so.
It sure sounds like it. What's your agenda? Are you an affiliate of Planned Parenthood?
No. Why would you think that?
Well, you sound like you got the talking points from Planned Parenthood in your hands.
No. I'm just asking questions, and you seem to be getting agitated with the questions themselves.
Well, I am agitated because I thought this was not about whether or not pregnancy centers are practicing medicine, but about the defunding of Planned Parenthood. That's what the interview was arranged for.
That is indeed, sir. You brought up the fact that people...
the topic, if you don't mind, or I have to get back to something else.
The way we got onto pregnancy centers and whether they're licensed facilities is you said that people should be going there instead of Planned Parenthood. You brought it up, sir, so don't tell me it's my agenda, first of all, okay?
I'm listening.
Okay, my question is, do you deny the CBS New York report that indicated you are not licensed medical facilities? That's just the question. Are you or are you not a licensed medical facility? Is EMC Frontline Pregnancy Centers a licensed medical facility?
No, we're not.
Okay, so when you're suggesting people go there instead of Planned Parenthood, you are suggesting people go to a place that is not a licensed medical facility, yes or no?
I'm not in a court of law, my friend. I am not on the witness stand. I'm doing a radio interview, and don't give me the option of yes and no answers. I'm going to explain myself.
Please do.
Or get off the air.
You're free to do either, sir.
Okay, I'll get off. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Wow. Lewis, he certainly did not like that line of questioning, did he?
When given the chance to explain himself, he chose to just quit.
He said he could. I said he could do either, ladies and gentlemen.
Perhaps he was not prepared to explain himself.
You know, he says the interview isn't about EMC Frontline Pregnancy Centers. That's right, it's not. He made it about that. He suggested, you know what? Pregnancy centers, my pregnancy centers, are an alternative to Planned Parenthood. And he admitted they're not licensed.
Unbelievable.
Let's take a break, ladies and gentlemen. Back after this. Okay, so after the interview, obviously, Lewis, we were kind of upset that the guy hung up, but at the same time, we knew we were just asking basic questions, right? Like, are you a licensed medical facility or aren't you? So question one is, in thinking back to it, do you think the questions were out of line and that we were pushing him too hard, or that he just really didn't want to answer the question that made it obvious that he's just trying to prevent women from having abortions?
Right. I think our line of questioning made him look really bad. I think he knew that. I think he was incredibly uncomfortable. We completely, we crushed him. We crushed him on it. And I don't think he was used to interviews going that way. I just don't think he could handle it. I think he knew he looked terrible. And I think to try and save any more embarrassment, he just had to stop the interview.
Okay, so afterwards, I decided to take the high road. And even though I felt that the line of questioning was fair, I still didn't like that he had ended the interview early. So I wrote to him as well as to the guest booker. And I said, Mr. Slattery, I wanted to take a minute to thank you for coming on the show and apologize for what I gather was not the interview you expected. Certainly, we were not attempting to sandbag you, and I'm truly sorry that it would appear that way. We research all aspects of every guest. Given that special guests presented you prominently as the owner and founder of the pregnancy centers, we researched all aspects of the interview, including Planned Parenthood. the proposal to defund it, alternatives, and your pregnancy centers. We have never had a guest end an interview prematurely, so I wanted to reach out and apologize for any aspect of that end result that was my fault. Thank you for your time. Now, Lewis, of course, when I'm saying I want to apologize for any aspect that was my fault, I'm not necessarily saying I believe any aspect of it was actually my fault. I mean, it was kind of like a I apologize that people were offended type of thing.
Right. Just kind of make nice, and hopefully we can have you on the show again, type of thing. I mean, it's just good to not be on people's bad side in general.
Right. So then the guest booker wrote back to me and said, David, thank you for your gracious apology. Chris told me he was under stress due to great concerns that this new bill could shut him down or greatly curtail his efforts to save preborn children from being aborted. At this point, I remember starting to get nauseous as I read this. Hope we can continue to book guests on your program, even ones with dissenting points of view. Now, this happens to be the same guest booker. A couple months ago, we interviewed Carl Gallups. He flipped out when I asked him for evidence from outside of the Bible that the Bible is a sacred text. That's the same guest booker who then said I should be apologizing to Carl Gallups, to which I said, I'm not going to apologize. He just didn't answer my questions. Other guests are able to handle the questions. He seemed unable to. It's the same guest booker. So it's funny that I had totally forgotten that we even had this exchange with the Chris Slattery thing until I went back and looked at it. That's everything. We were pitched Chris Slattery again as part of like a mass mailing list. I don't know if we had written back saying, yeah, we want Chris back on the show. I'm not sure that he would have agreed to do the show again.
I don't think there's any way he would have agreed to come back on.
All right, let's take a break. Facebook.com/David Pakman Show. Back with plenty more after this.